On this week's episode of The Pulse, learn about the new Agape Center and its mission to empower pioneers through community and conversation.
And hear about how federal budget cuts are causing public broadcasts to go radio silent.
I'm Jenna Reynolds.
And I'm Maura Staples. These stories and more on Sacred Heart's very own monthly news program.
You're watching The Pulse.
From Sacred Heart University in Fairfield, Connecticut, this is The Pulse.
As Sacred Heart welcomes students back this fall, it also introduced a new space on campus, the Agape Center for Human Dignity, designed to foster conversation and build community. The center aims to be a welcoming environment for all. Senior producer Danielle Grillo has the story.
Seeking truth, fostering compassion, finding peace, and upholding the dignity of every person are values that have served as the foundation of Sacred Heart University and drive every aspect of campus life. These guiding principles are now deeply integrated into the new Agape Center for Human Dignity, a place where students can come together in community, culture, and connection.
Our culture has been very strong because of the foundation that we have here, and that comes through our mission, our Catholic identity. And we have tried to develop on that identity piece in terms of our mission, and then translate that into the Agape Center for Human Dignity. And so that element is the foundation for the Agape Center.
The word agape captures the heart of the center and embodies a spirit of care and unity that guides everything the center does.
Agape is a phrase that means love and is symbolized with caring, breaking the bread, etc. All things that are very much part of our community.
There's no better word than agape is the unconditional love, right? When we talk about respecting, treating everybody else, that kind of love is what we want to emanate on campus, right? The Sacred Heart of Jesus, when you talk about the heart itself, it's about the unconditional love. And how can we love one another? How can we be compassionate with one another, respectful with one another? I think that is the entire goal. And that's agape fits very well in terms of achieving that goal.
On July 29th, the U.S. Attorney General, Pam Bondi, issued a memo labeled Guidance for Recipients of Federal Funding Regarding Unlawful Discrimination, stating that the application of federal anti-discrimination laws to programs or initiatives that may involve discriminatory practices, including those labeled as diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI programs, must be followed, and that entities that receive federal financial assistance should review the guidance carefully to ensure all programs comply with their legal obligations.
We had to ensure compliance with the federal guidelines and also to make sure we continue to provide services to our students. So we had to make changes to how we were doing business here. And one of the changes was the creation of the Agape Center for Human Dignity.
The reason we made changes is we wanted to be in advance of further restrictions by the federal government. And inclusivity is not the evil word, it's exclusivity. And our reason for inclusivity is strictly based on and most focused on our fact as a mission as a Catholic institution.
The Agape Center strives to be a place where every student has a home on campus, a space where differences are embraced, support is always available, and community grows from respect and understanding.
We are wholeheartedly committed to our mission of building one community, respecting the differences, and welcoming everyone, Christian, non-Christian, ethnicity, it does not matter. It is one community, one caring community, and I think the Agape being under mission itself will reinforce that.
From cultural events to open discussions and collaborative gatherings, the center's programming is designed to create meaningful experiences for everyone.
I think all the student-facing activities will continue to happen, right? And I think the biggest thing is students will be running these programming, will be kind of supporting them to run those programs. We also will have other programming, new programming that will develop from the Agape Center, but we want to make sure that the students that have been using some of the services to the Multicultural Center, they'll still have the ability to use the services. So that's not going to change.
At the Agape Center, faith and compassion guide every moment, fostering a space where all are welcome and human dignity is valued.
The Agape, the Center for Human Dignity, is rooted in faith. right? And it is grounded in love, and it is open to all. And so that's what we want to move forward with.
For The Pulse, Danielle Grillo, Fairfield, Connecticut.
After this summer's budget cuts, NPR and PBS affiliate stations across the country are struggling to stay on air. I recently had the opportunity to sit down with reporters from WSHU Public Radio to discuss how these cuts are impacting their newsroom and what these changes mean for the future of local journalism. On August 1st, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting announced it would be shutting down in response to over $1 billion in federal budget cuts. The Corporation for Public Broadcasting is a private, nonprofit organization that provides financial support to over 1,500 locally owned public radio and television stations, including WSHU Public Radio.
We're losing approximately $500,000 that we would get from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. So that money in this fiscal year is gone. We're not going to get it. We're not going to see a dime of it. So in that way, it is affecting us big time because that's $500,000 out of our budget. That's several jobs. That is several programs. So again, it does have a major impact, and it has a major impact on how we are looking forward to go forward in the future.
Luckily for WSHU, these cuts only affect about 7% of their total budget. But for smaller stations, especially in rural areas, they could be devastating.
Local news in a place like Connecticut, I think we take it for granted because we have a lot of local news stations. Don't get me wrong, and newspapers especially, like they're teetering off, but we still have them and we still have choices. In places like Montana, they don't have choices. There are huge news deserts, and a lot of the time, it's public media that makes up for that. It's not profitable to cover the news in some of these areas, but for a public media station, they're not worried about profits, so they do it. And to lose that, it's really dangerous.
Because of production costs and smaller audience sizes, rural stations rely heavily on state and government funding. Without it, they risk going silent, leaving many communities without a local voice.
Local news is extremely important, and in a lot of ways it's more important than the national scene because these are things that directly affect your life. How much you're going to pay in taxes, how much you're going to, pay in fees, what's going to happen to your school, what's going to happen to various issues of town or city government. And this is the area where most people can participate in the civic life of the community. It's on the local level, not necessarily the national level. So if you do not know about local issues, if you don't know what the issues are, that's going to have a big effect on what you do and where you live and how you live in the community.
Despite the loss of federal funding, WSHU is seeing strong support from its community as listeners fight to protect their local news.
We just finished a pledge drive where we doubled our goal that we were trying to raise. We raised more than $250,000 within less than a week, which shows that, our donors really care about this service that we offer and they don't want to see it go away. I think anytime we're getting rid of news sources, that's not good. You want to be able to get as much as you can to be able to look at everything and then make a decision. And while, of course, I think that NPR and public radio offers an unbiased view of the news, and some people may not agree, but I think it's important that it's still available. The future of news, now is the time that we all have to step up and show that public media is important and that we have to fight for it.
For The Pulse, Maura Staples, Fairfield.
September 11th is a day of remembrance, but it's also become a day of service. Here in Bridgeport, the nonprofit organization 9/11 Day brought the community together at Total Mortgage Arena. More than 400 volunteers spent their morning packing thousands of meals for those facing food insecurity. Sarah Hasney gives us a behind-the-scenes look at this inspiring event.
On September 11th at the Total Mortgage Arena in Bridgeport, Connecticut, the nonprofit organization 9/11 Day called volunteers from all over Connecticut to roll up their sleeves and help pack meals for people in need.
But ultimately what, inspired the idea to make 9/11 a day of service was essentially the way New York and America and a substantial part of the world responded to the attacks. in a blink of an eye, we were almost instantly united.
The event hosted over 400 volunteers from different organizations statewide to come together to help people who are facing food insecurity. Companies gave volunteers the morning off to come and give back to their communities. In an assembly-style line, volunteers fill bags, seal and label them, and then put them in boxes to be prepared for shipping.
Packing a jambalaya meal pack, which is packed with proteins as well, so very helpful. So from here, they're going to be taken to our Wallingford warehouse, and then we're going to distribute it across 655 organizations across the state.
Look, I think everyone kind of remembers where they were during 9/11, know the impact that it had on the country. So, just supporting the cause and on 9/11, really helping people should make you want to come out.
The goal of the 9/11 Day organization is to create the same sense of unity that America felt after the tragedies of 2001, turning a day of mourning into a day of service, and to remember the good. For The Pulse, this is Sarah Hasney, Fairfield, Connecticut.
Wow, it is truly incredible to see what a group of people can accomplish when they work together for a good cause.
It is incredible, Moira, especially being born and raised in New York. This is a day I hold dear and near to my heart, so it is so beautiful to see these first responders being honored the way that they should.
When we get back, see how Sacred Heart is helping its newest pioneers settle in during their first 50 days on campus.
And stay tuned for Entertainment Roundup, where we keep you up to date on all of Hollywood's latest headlines.
Welcome back to The Pulse. A new school year means new faces on campus, and to help those students feel at home, the Office of First Year Experience is kicking off the semester with its annual First 50 Days event series. Senior producer Shannon Tuttle has more.
So the First 50 Days main goal is to connect students. That's what we want at the end of the day. We want them to find things that they like on campus, people that they can connect with. That is the overarching theme.
Since Sunday, August 24th, the Office of First Year Experience has been counting to 50 with an event series calendar. Each day is packed with social, informative, and academic events and activities to encourage students to get involved on campus and expand their social circles.
It's really important for freshmen to get involved so that they can meet new people and just see what this campus has to offer.
It's so important because it is what is going to connect first year students to what they like on campus and people that share their interests.
The First 50 not only gets freshmen involved, but also helps campus clubs and organizations connect with new students who share their similar interests.
By giving people a commonality in an event, for example. If you know that you want to be a teacher and the education club is something that you're interested in, then you know when you walk into that space that you have at least one common thing with all those other students there. So hopefully through those events, it speeds up those connections because you know you're walking in with some sort of foundation.
And if involvement seems too overwhelming, the Office of First Year Experience has you covered.
And we do this thing called pit stops in the First 50 Days, which is designed around larger university events. We did it for the President's Gala. We'll do it for bingo. That if you really don't feel comfortable walking in alone, that's okay. An FYE assistant gathers a group of students and will kind of form some connections beforehand so you feel like you walk in knowing someone.
At SHU, it's all about community. And the First 50 Days are the first steps to becoming a pioneer.
And the First 50 Days has really helped me when I was a freshman because there's always something to do, always something to look forward to, and an activity to go and enjoy with my friends.
For The Pulse, Shannon Tuttle, Fairfield, Connecticut.
From Hollywood headlines to the hottest celebrity gossip, we've got your entertainment fix covered and so much more on what's ahead. Let's turn it over to Will Morgan, who's here to break down all the headlines and keep us in the loop.
Thanks, Jenna. This has been a packed week in entertainment news, so let's start with the biggest. Jimmy Kimmel Live had production suspended for 6 days following comments Kimmel made on air about the assassin of Charlie Kirk and Donald Trump's response to the killing. infuriated many conservative viewers, with the FCC and conservative-leaning broadcast companies, Sinclair and Nexstar Media Groups, threatening to drop the show. Disney decided to pause production over the next 5 days. This created a media firestorm. Disney received widespread condemnation for caving to the government and was widely perceived as censorship. Support was expressed for Kimmel by fellow late-night hosts, comedians, celebrities, Hollywood unions, and politicians. Protests even erupted in LA and New York, and Disney faced a wave of Disney Plus cancellations, with a $5 billion loss in profits estimated. On the 23rd of September, Kimmel was back on the air. He fought back tears in an emotional monologue that earned the highest ratings in his career, 6.3 million viewers. Coachella announced its lineup for this year's Music and Arts Festival. Sabrina Carpenter, Justin Bieber, and Karol G will headline Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of this year's festival. Carpenter returns from her Coachella debut in 2024. Karol G is making her second appearance as well, and Bieber has his first ever scheduled performance, although he's appeared as a guest many times before. This year's Emmy Awards occurred on September 14th, airing on CBS. Adolescence, a British series about a 13-year-old killer, led all shows with 6 awards. The medical drama The Pit won 3 awards, including Outstanding Drama Series and Lead Actor in a Drama Series. Seth Rogen's The Studio, full of Hollywood inside jokes, won 4 awards, including Outstanding Comedy Series. That's it for entertainment news. Stay tuned for more. Headlines, back to you.
Thanks, Will. When we get back, we'll take a look at how students are reacting to big changes in SHU dining.
And get the play-by-play on Sacred Heart Sports. The pursuit of truth and knowledge.
Recognition of dignity and worth of every human being.
Promotion of the common good of society.
We're always evolving. Your passion should always change, right? Not to say that you should throw away your old passion. You know, they root you, they make you who you are. If I ever want to progress in life, I know that I have to learn new things, be understanding of different cultures, different backgrounds, different interests.
The lessons I learn at Sacred Heart can help me make a meaningful impact that it will lead me to do work that is good for every single person in the world.
I am drawn to writing socially impactful pieces because theater, it speaks to broad audiences. They can learn from the piece, or they might sit there and say, I've been through that. Even if it's just one person, I feel like then it was a successful piece.
You are not only going to learn from other students, but you're going to learn about yourself.
I was always asking why, and I saw that with molecular and cellular biology, you go to the smallest detail of that why. In my future path, like, I hope to answer more of those whys.
Welcome back to The Pulse. This year, things look a little different at SHU's beloved dining hall, Thea's, and students have a lot to say. Let's head over to Upper Quad, where Dylan Dupree and Isabella Generazzo are taking the pulse on how students feel about the changes.
We're here at Thea's Abbey, located next to Thea Bowman Hall on Sacred Heart's campus at the Upper Quad, home to the recent controversy surrounding its menu change that has students begging to know why.
Formerly known for its grab-and-go options, such as deli-style sandwiches, burrito bowls, and more, students were shocked to find their beloved dining hall completely transformed into a buffet-style establishment when they came for the full semester.
We asked students both old and new what they thought of the dining hall's recent changes, and needless to say, their opinions were split.
I think that the new Thea's is honestly very inconvenient. I love the grab-and-go style of it, especially now living in Bowman. I would love to just grab my food and head wherever I'm going, and we also didn't need another 63s that also has less options.
I'm honestly not that big of a fan. I enjoyed the stations that were there before, and now it's just a smaller version of 63s. Also, being an upperclassman, I would have to pay to get in because I don't have meal swipes.
While some were not fans of the new renovations, there were plenty who were in fact for the change as well.
I like the new Thea's better because I was never really a fan of the stations at the old Thea's. But I've always been a fan of 63s, so having 2 63s is like better than just one.
And I don't know what the old Thea's was like because I'm a freshman, but I have no complaints. The food's really good, the wraps for lunch and dinner are really strong, and every time I've gone there for breakfast it's all been great, so I really can't complain.
I think it's a good change. I think it's a little bit of an adjustment and people are still getting used to it, but I really like it because now that it's more similar to 63s, it kind of gives that same vibe of you can go, sit down with your friends, decompress while you're eating, and it feels less like a place where you have to just kind of get in and get out. So I think it adds to the community feel of campus.
In the end, the debate may remain for years, but one thing's for certain. Thea's will always hold a place in our hearts for feeding us students here at SHU, whether you prefer the old or the new. Back to you guys at the studio.
With fall in the air and the leaves starting to turn, hockey season is right around the corner. The Sacred Heart women's hockey team is hard at work chasing back-to-back titles. George Triebenbacher and Alexa Piscino spoke with the team to see how they're preparing for this season.
After a thrilling and successful 2025 campaign, which culminated in a 4-2 win over LIU to win the Nuha tournament, SHU women's hockey is ramping up for a new season, and the leader of the team is ready to go.
We've been practicing hard, getting ready, and, there's a lot of expectation. We have high expectations for ourselves, and we're ready to go.
The team is focusing on many key areas during preseason practices.
We're working on the speed of our game. We're working on, our passing, our shooting, naturally our goaltending. We're working on getting pucks to the net. We're working on protecting pucks from going in the net. You know what I'm saying? So just really covering every aspect of the game.
Before turning the page to this season, senior captain Olivia LaRoche details the emotions of last season.
Winning the Nuha was an incredible experience. I'm a senior now, so we've been working towards that goal for 3 years, and we went on an incredible run at the end of our season, and it was just an incredible feeling overall.
LaRoche isn't the only senior captain on the team. She is joined in the leadership department by a netminder.
My name is Jillian Petruno. I'm a senior. I'm number 63. I'm a goalie, and I'm captain.
In Petruno's mind, last season can only be an asset going forward for both newcomers and returners.
It's definitely helped us. I know all the returners, we want to get back to that, and we want to, move even further into NCAAs. And all the freshmen, I think, they can see what we're towards, and they can see how excited we are for the season, so I think it just helps go through everyone.
Coach O'Malley likes what he sees in terms of veteran presence on his roster.
Coming back with our seniors, our senior co-captains, Olivia LaRoche and Jillian Petruno, as well as the other seniors and juniors, the veteran players. They know what it's like to play in the Nuha League and against our out-of-conference opponents, and just looking for them and for everyone to step it up again this year.
The togetherness of the team is something that LaRoche appreciates about this specific team.
Probably our family culture. I think that, winning the championship last year, bringing that into this year, and just having that tight family bond is something that I'll cherish forever.
Last season was a thrill for the Pioneers, but they are ready to turn the page and look to repeat as Nuha champions. With key pieces on the roster still in place, the Pioneers are optimistic for what's to come. The journey starts on Friday, October 3rd at 5 p.m. against Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute.
It's a new year, it's a new team, it's a new journey, and we want to make it our year again.
Reporting for The Pulse, this is George Triebenbacher, Fairfield, Connecticut.
With the temperatures starting to cool down, Sacred Heart sports are bringing the heat. Here's our very own Colin McLeod with this week's Sports Roundup.
As the school year starts up, our sports teams are starting to get into the swing of everything. The Pioneers football team has started off the season hot, beating Delaware State University during Family Weekend, making a 4-1 record. They look to continue this momentum before joining the Coastal Athletic Association next fall. They travel to Central Connecticut this weekend for their 6th game of the season. Field hockey is off to a 3-4 start with a dominant win over New Haven and an overtime winner at Georgetown. This weekend, they will travel to Fairfield on Friday and Yale on Sunday for more games. Moving on to women's rugby, they're off to a 2-1 record in conference play. They take on Army this Friday at 7 p.m. at home. The men's soccer team is off to a 2-3-2 start. They travel to Quinnipiac University midweek on Wednesday and will host Mount St. Mary's this Saturday. Wrapping up with women's volleyball, they currently have a record of 3-9. For the second time, Miliani Villarreal won MAC honors for Libero of the Week and Avo Roadball for Setter of the Week. They will travel to rival Fairfield this Tuesday and then face off at Rider University this Friday. That's all for now. For the SHU Sports Roundup, I'm Colin McLeod. Back to you guys.
Ugh, I just love the fall. Sweaters, cider, and of course, football. What's not to love?
I mean, Moira, I can't agree with you on this one. I'm a summer girl, like beach, tanning, sun. I do like Halloween though. You have your costume picked out?
God, I wish. That's a week of problem.
Come on, girl, you need to get on that.
All right, that's all we have for you today.
Thanks for watching, and be sure to tune in on our next episode. I'm Jenna Reynolds.
And I'm Maura Staples. We'll see you next time on The Pulse.